Then Rachel prayed to Allah to give her a son from Jacob. Allah heard her call and responded to her prayer. She gave birth to a son, great, honorable, and beautiful. She named him Joseph. Yusuf. All of this happened when they were in the land of Haran, and Jacob was pasturing his uncle's sheep, which he did for a period of 20 years. Jacob's request from the people of the book. Jacob then asked his uncle Laban to let him go and visit his family. His uncle said to him, I have been blessed because of you. Ask for whatever money you need. Jacob said, give me each spotted and speckled goat, born this year, and each black lamb. But at Laban's command, his sons removed their father's goat that were stripped, spotted, or speckled, and the black lambs, lest others should be born with those traits. They walked for 3 days with their father's goats and sheep while Jacob tended the remaining flock. The people of the book said that Jacob took fresh rods of poplar, almond, and plane. He peeled streaks in them and cast them into the water through for the goats to look at. The young inside their abdomens were terrified and moved, and they were born stripped, spotted, or speckled. When the sheep were breeding, he set their faces towards the black sheep in Laban's flock and put the rods among them. Their lambs were born black. This was considered an example of supernatural powers, a miracle. Jacob had many goats, sheep, beasts, and slaves. His uncle and his sons' faces changed, as if the sheep and goats had been stolen from them. Jacob accused of taking idols. Allah the Almighty inspired Jacob to return to the country of his father and people, and he promised to stand by him. Jacob told his family that, and they responded and obeyed him. Jacob did not tell Laban of his plans, however, and left without bidding farewell. Upon leaving, Rachel stole her father's idols. After Jacob and his people had fled for his country, Laban and his people followed them. When Laban met with Jacob, he blamed him for leaving him without his knowledge. He would have liked to know, so that he could have made them leave with celebration and joy, with drums and songs, and so that he could have bidden his daughters and sons farewell. And why have they taken his idols with them? Jacob had no knowledge of his idols, so he denied that he had taken them from him. Then Laban entered the tents of his daughters and slaves to search, but he found nothing, for Rachel had put the idols in the camel's saddle under her. She did not get up, apologizing that she had her menses. Thus he could not perceive what they had done. Then they sat on a hill called Galeed, and made a covenant there. Jacob would not ill-treat Laban's daughters, nor marry others. Neither Laban nor Jacob would pass the hill into the other's country. They cooked food, and their people ate with them. Each made the other farewell as they departed, each returning to his own country. Jacob prepares to meet Israel. When Jacob approached the land of Seir, the angels greeted him. He sent a messenger ahead with greetings to his brother Ishwa, asking forgiveness and humbling himself before him. The messenger returned greetings and told Jacob that Ishwa was riding towards him with 400 men. This made Jacob afraid, and he entreated and prayed to Allah Almighty. He prostrated in humiliation and asked him to fulfill his promise, which he had made before. He asked him to stop the evil of his brother Ishwa, and then Jacob prepared a great present for his brother: 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams, and 30 milch camels, 40 cows and 2 bulls, 20 female donkeys and 10 male donkeys. He commanded his slaves to take the animals. Each drove by itself and passed on ahead of him. With a space between the droves, he instructed them: When you meet my brother Ishwa, he will ask you, to whom do you belong? Where are you going? You shall say, they belong to your servant Jacob. They are a present to my master. Moreover, he is behind us. Jacob stayed behind with his 2 wives, his slaves and his children for 2 nights, then continued walking by night and resting by day. Jacob becomes Israel. When the dawn of the 2nd day came, one of the angels appeared in the shape of a man. Jacob began to wrestle with him. They were neck and neck until the angel injured his thigh, and Jacob became lame. When the day was breaking, the angel said to him, "What is your name?" He answered, "Jacob." The angel said, "After today you shall not be called anything but Israel." Jacob asked, "Who are you? What is your name?" He vanished. Then Jacob knew that he was one of the angels. Jacob was lame, and for this reason the children of Israel do not eat the thigh muscle on the hip socket. Jacob and Ishwa meet. Jacob raised his eyes and saw his brother Ishwa coming. Jacob prostrated 7 times before him, for it was their salutation in that time. It was lawful for them, just as the angels had prostration in salutation to Adam. When Ishwa saw him, he ran towards him, embraced and kissed him, and wept. When Ishwa raised his eyes and saw the woman and children, he asked, "Who are these with you?" Jacob answered, "Those whom Allah has given me, your servant Leah, Rachel, their slaves, and all the children approached and prostrated before him." Jacob asked Ishwa to accept his gift and insisted until he did so. Ishwa returned and went in advance before him. Jacob and his family followed with him with the flocks and herds and slaves to the mountains. So Jacob built. When he came to Sahur, he built a house for himself and shades for his beasts. Then he passed by Jerusalem, the village of Shechem, and camped before the village. He bought a farm from Shem ibn Hamur with 100 goats, and built an altar which he called El, as Allah commanded him. He built the altar where Jerusalem stands today, and later Solomon, son of David, rebuilt it. It is in the place of the stone which he had earlier anointed with oil, as was mentioned before.